In 2009, in a modest home nestled in British Columbia, Gloria Taylor sat by her window, watching the world outside grow increasingly distant. A once vibrant, fiercely independent woman, Gloria had been diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a terminal, degenerative disease that gradually silences the body. First, it robs you of your legs, then your arms, your voice, your breath. It does not strike like lightning. It creeps like a shadow until you are no longer able to move, speak, or even ask for help. But Gloria was not afraid of death. What she feared was dying in agony, imprisoned in a failing body, unable to control her final moments. She did not want to die slowly, piece by piece, in a hospital bed surrounded by tubes, her dignity shredded by pain and helplessness. She wanted to choose her time, her way, her goodbye. But under Canadian law, that choice was forbidden. The criminal code made it a crime for anyone, even a compassionate doctor, to assist another person in dying. Section 241B threatened up to 14 years in prison for aiding or abetting suicide. Section 14 said no one could even legally consent to their own death. Across the country, Lee Carter and her husband Hollis Johnson knew that pain intimately. Years earlier, they had helped Lee's mother, Kay Carter, who suffered from a painful and irreversible condition called spinal stenosis. As her body failed her, Kay made a choice. She did not want to become what she called an ironing board, lying flat and immobile, waiting for death. She wanted dignity. So she asked Lee and Hollis to help her travel to Switzerland, where assisted suicide was legal. They went. She died peacefully at the Dignitas Clinic, surrounded by family, with soft music playing. But when they returned to Canada, they lived in quiet fear. Their actions, done out of love, could have made them criminals under the law. So when Gloria Taylor prepared to launch a legal challenge, Lee and Hollis joined her. So did Dr. William Shoishe, a compassionate physician who believed in a patient's right to choose, and who was willing to help if only the law would allow it. Together with the British Columbia Civil Liberties Association, they challenged the law before the courts. They did not ask for an open door to euthanasia. They asked only for the right of competent suffering adults, like Gloria, like Kay, to choose a peaceful death over a drawn-out torment. The case made its way to the Supreme Court of Canada. The courtroom was filled with emotion, legal argument, and human stories. The state argued that the ban on assisted dying was necessary to protect the vulnerable, people who might be pressured to die. That human life, under law, must be preserved at all costs. But Gloria and her co-plaintiffs argued something deeper, that preserving life without dignity was not protection, but cruelty. They argued that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms guaranteed every Canadian the right to life, liberty, and security of the person, and that the absolute ban violated those rights. It forced people to take their lives prematurely before they became physically unable. It denied them the autonomy to make the most personal choice of all. It left them to suffer without recourse. The court listened. In a unanimous decision in 2015, the Supreme Court of Canada struck down the law. It ruled that the blanket prohibition on assisted dying unjustifiably violated Section 7 of the Charter. The justices said the law was overbroad. Yes, it aimed to protect the vulnerable, but it also trapped competent, rational adults in unbearable suffering. They made it clear the state has no right to force someone to endure a torturous end when a peaceful exit is possible and desired. The court suspended its ruling for 12 months to give Parliament time to create a legal framework with safeguards. It was one of the most groundbreaking human rights decisions in Canadian history. But the victory came too late for Gloria. She died of an infection before she could use the right she had fought so bravely to secure. Yet her voice, her courage, had changed the law for generations. At Tesla One Creations, we believe that the law is more than dusty books and courtrooms. It is a story, a human story, of pain, justice, dignity, and sometimes mercy. As we cross the milestone of 1,000 subscribers, we are filled with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for every click, every comment, every moment spent learning with us. This channel was built not just to educate, but to move, to breathe life into the law and make it matter to everyone, lawyer or not. You've proven that legal storytelling has power, that people care, that stories like Gloria's deserve to be heard. And now we turn home to Ghana. Here, the story takes a different shape. Ghana's Criminal Offences Act of 1960 makes assisted suicide a crime with no exceptions. It does not matter if a person is terminally ill. It does not matter if they are suffering unbearably or if they plead for help. The law does not allow a peaceful death. It offers no dignity-based pathway, no discussion of autonomy at the end of life. It only commands, live, no matter the pain, and die when nature decides. Yet the 1992 Constitution of Ghana promises that the dignity of all persons shall be inviolable. What does dignity mean if the law compels a person to die in agony? Article 21 guarantees freedom of conscience, yet at the end of life, that freedom disappears. In Ghana, we have not yet faced a case like Carter. No family has yet brought the matter before the courts. But how long will that last? How many more silent sufferings must go unanswered before the law is forced to listen? This is not just a legal issue. It is a moral one, a cultural one. In Ghana, death is sacred. It is not to be rushed. But can we say that we honor death by denying a peaceful one? Can we say we protect the vulnerable by criminalizing compassion? We are not asking for open doors or slippery slopes. We are asking for a conversation about law, about love, about what it means to die well. And so, as we mark 1,000 strong voices in this community, we invite you into that conversation. Should Ghana begin to explore legal reforms for end-of-life care? Can our laws evolve while still honoring our values? Should dignity include the right to choose, not whether to die, but how? Let us know what you think. Let us hear your voice. Because in the end, the law must not only preserve life, it must serve justice. And justice begins when the law is willing to listen, even to those at the edge of life. And perhaps, just perhaps, Ghana is ready to tell its own Carter story.